Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're doing well. It is super windy out here again, as you can probably tell from my hair blowing all over the place, but this microphone normally does a pretty good job of keeping the sound okay. So fingers crossed, apologies if it sounds ridiculous. But as I always say, the sea is just over there and it blows in like God knows what. Anyway, should be quite a, at least interesting and fun video today. It is another cheap car that we've bought in, and this one came through carsboughtformore.com, our car buying website. So if you are looking to sell your car, this should be guidance to you that I will buy pretty much anything and collect from almost anywhere. This came from Chatham, so about 4 hours, 200 miles away from us. And we sent Josh up on the train and he drove it back, collected it from a very nice chap who's a subscriber of ours. I won't name you because I haven't discussed that with you, but feel free to shout your name out in the bottom in the comments, and probably give us more information than I can give you on this car. But yeah, it's quite an interesting one, so let's get into it. Here we are. And what we have is a 2002 Jaguar XJ8, and this is a 3.2 V8. A very luxurious motor in its day, although I'd have to say that I think it looked dated even in its day. Let's go down here and have a look at a 2003 car, Audi A8. 3.7 V8, and just look at the styling differences. Doesn't that look 10 times more modern than this Jaguar here? But I guess that is part of the appeal. It still had that kind of regal, classic look about them, and you know, it's still an attractive car, isn't it? It still looks cool, I think, anyway. But yeah, it certainly feels more of a classic car than it does starting to become a modern car. So yeah, it seems bizarre to me that those two cars were sort of made and sold a year apart for the same sort of market, really. Luxury cruising car. But let me know what you think. Do you prefer the styling of a more classical looking car, even though it's a modern-ish car, than you do something that's modern? I don't know. Let me know what you think. So you may well be able to see from here or not, there is a good bit of rust going on. That is not uncommon for a Jaguar. I mean, this should be expected. We knew about all of this. Let's go around. Let's look at the bodywork first. Doesn't look too bad on the back. A little boff on that corner there. More rust on the arch there. More on that wing again, and then lack of peel on the bonnet and the wing. So I think that's about the total of it. So I think if you wanted to get this back to a really nice standard, you want a couple of wings, and you would need to do some welding repairs, cut out some sections of that arch on the back and repair that. Paint up the back bumper. So you're going to paint the back bumper, paint both rear quarters, both front wings, and the bonnet. And it's not a small car, so it's not going to be cheap, is it? But in fact, looking at that as well, more scuffs there. You're going to need to do more of the front bumper. So I'm not sure this car's ever going to be perfect again, but it does have a long MOT. It still seems to drive really well. It got back 200 miles, absolutely faultless. So I still think, you know, it's worth saving, it's worth something to someone, and maybe this is something that someone would like to take on as a personal project, because I just don't think it's going to be economical for us to do here at the garage. So yeah, this is one of those ones where I bought it with my heart more than my head, probably thinking, well, we'll get some good content out of it, and you know, I like it. But for us to prepare and sell this, it just isn't going to happen. So I'm starting to sway towards the idea that I might auction this car off, either send it through the auctions or do an eBay auction. Hopefully someone will want to take it on and fix it up. The wheels all need a good clean off with some acid wheel cleaner. Got brake dust in there, but we've got Michelin tyres. It's okay, slight cracking on there, but not too bad. front. Got loads of tread. These must be a winter tyre, I think, looking at that tread pattern. Yeah, plenty of tread on there, maybe 5-6 mil. Same again on there, but they are starting to perish ever so slightly, and absolutely tons of brake dust. Actually, I mean, other than that, that wheel was in pretty much perfect condition. Okay, a slight bit of corrosion in there, but cleaned up with some acid wheel cleaner, that would look amazing, 10 times better. And so we've got a full matching set of Michelin's all the way around. Again, some brake dust stuff to clean off, but that would make a huge difference to the appearance of this car. Fuel cap in the back there, even comes with a free glove, look at that. And then we've got this absolutely huge boot, rear parking sensors, twin exhaust, pretty decent sized boot, but it is quite shallow. It's certainly not as big as some saloons these days. We've got our space saver spare wheel with a Pirelli tyre in there, and tucked away. That'd be the battery under there. Jaguar multi-disc changer there. Still got our triangle. I've noticed both the caps off the lights are missing. I don't know how you can see that, but they are stowed away in there. I guess they don't connect on very well, so they've just been kept out of the way because they're probably annoying. No real signs of rust on the boot though. It can quite often be something to look out for on Jaguars, but all looking good. My God, it would benefit from a wash so badly. Right, that's probably the outside covered. We know it's not in perfect condition, but let's hop inside and see what the inside looks like. So we have actually got 2 keys and the remote key fob to lock and unlock this car. Looks like we can do the boot as well. Let's see if that will pop the boot. It does indeed. We've also got a button to set off the alarm, but oh, bugger it, let's do it. Well, you can't say I didn't try for you, but it didn't work, so maybe it's because it's unlocked. Let's lock it. No, that feature no longer works, or perhaps needs reprogramming or something, but it's not working for us. And yeah, we've got 2 keys. One says spare, but I think I've tried one of these before and it didn't actually start the car. So I'm going to try this JMA key first, and we'll see if that actually starts the car, because that's the one that's labelled as spare. Suspicious. I don't know why it would need to be labelled if it all works, and neither one of them will work. So let's find out. Let's hop in. So, nice cream leather, another cream carpet, but luckily this one looks a lot cleaner than the last one we saw in that Freelander too. They've always got super comfy seats in here. It is very low down, I have to say, in here, but a lot of cream leather, a lot of walnut dash inserts. Very Jaguar indeed. Like how cozy it looks in the back there. I have to say my favourite part of this car is obviously the headlining has been sagging and working its way down, so it's quite an ingenious way of doing it really, but yeah, it kind of stands out. I think I would have tried to done a pattern maybe. Obviously we've got these pins. Let me see if I can pull one out quickly. Oh, it must be, oh, they're little screws actually. Whether they're actually, well, they must be made for this purpose. That's something else I'm gonna have to fix now. But yeah, we've got this headlining that's obviously been sagging down, and someone has, oh, I've lost it now, has been putting it back up with this. But it's a lot better than having a sagging headlining, isn't it? But yeah, it's taken so many of them to do it, to actually hold it up and look neat, that it doesn't look that neat anymore. Talking about features in the car, we've got steering wheel controls, we have got cruise control over here. Don't know whether we have got auto lights on the stalk here. Look, we've got this 3-gauge cluster, so tachometer, speedo, and fuel and coolant temperature there. A nice little Jaguar clock in the middle. We've got the automatic gearbox in this one. Interesting that we've got walnut inserts here, and this looks beach to me, beach gear knob, but it's It's quite nice actually. I like that kind of polished wood gear knob there. Then we've got this very dated looking stereo. As I've said before, cars of this era, I think it was almost a statement. The more buttons you had, the more premium your radio was, which of course is the complete opposite of what it would be these days. It would all be touchscreen, wouldn't it? It does say nav on there, so I wonder actually how that would work. We'll come back to that in a minute. And we have got up, down, left, right, enter, all that sort of stuff. Interesting. I wonder if it's, you know, the early GPS systems, they just spoke to you, gave you spoken directions. I guess that's a word. Why does spoken sound, I don't know. Anyway, we'll find out about that in a minute. We've got climate control. I can't tell if that's dual zone, I don't think it is, but we've got heated seats, we've got the locking button here, traction control off, etc. Our fog light switches are here by the looks of it. I can tell you it's incredibly comfortable in these seats, and they are electronically adjustable as well. So I was just looking at this here. We've got an ashtray, a cigarette lighter there. This pops out and that's your cup holders. Quite a good location. A bit irritating if you've got, you know, drinks there and you want to use the gear lever. I guess being automatic, you're not going to use it very often, but you know, as you're wafting around in your XJ8 and you've just picked up your McDonald's drive-through, couple of extra large Cokes in here or something, and you want to go to pull away, it's going to be annoying, isn't it? I mean, it's very trivial stuff, but it's the sort of things that would drive me mad. So, cup holders there, and then we open up our cubby hole in the centre, where we've got a lock and wheel nut, which is always good to see. It automatically opens the cup holder if you slam the armrest. Look at that. All right. Oh, and that opened as well. Classic Jaguar build quality. Spotted we also got electrically controlled steering column, and it looks like a control here for adjusting the brightness of the gauges. All very, very kind of advanced at its time, I'm sure. Nothing in the glove box, I've already checked that, and there is quite a lot of paperwork to come with this car. I thought, wow, it's got an absolutely huge service history, but I think what it looks like we've got is an absolute stack of kind of repairs and maintenance bits and pieces, but there's only really a couple of service records in there. So it's had lots of bits and pieces done, as you'd probably expect from an older Jaguar, but yeah, it's not actually a huge amount of service history. The old service manual and book and everything is in there in a sandwich bag, because all the sort of leather or fake leather or whatever is all kind of flaking off. Yeah, it's probably when you're dealing with 20-year-old British cars. Yeah, they can start to fall apart at this sort of age, I guess. Anyway, let's fire it up. So we're going to try the spare key first. Will that start it? See, it won't. For some reason, everything turns on, but it won't actually fire up. I'm going to rotate that key around in case the transponder chip's in the wrong place. Nope. So that's the spare JME key, which I guess at least would get you in the car. But here's our original. Fires up just like that. So our spare keys, not great use for much, to be honest. So the first thing we noticed is we have got an engine management light on, and one of the things I noticed in the service history for this car was an absolute stack of catalytic cleaner treatments having been put through the car. So I imagine that the O2 sensors or something are getting upset all the time or getting clogged up. I don't know, but perhaps we'll plug that in a minute and see if we can get an idea of what it is, because when I come to auction this off, at least I can then put the codes in the listing saying this is what it's saying. Let's try and turn these fans down a minute. How do we do that? There. Right, I'm going to try and give ourselves the mileage. Average 22.1 miles per gallon. We are on 107,572 miles on this car, which actually for a 20-year-old Jaguar like this, you'd expect them to be on absolutely huge miles, wouldn't you? I think that is a redeeming feature of this car. If someone is going to fix it up, it's actually quite nice, low mileage. The interior's spankers, so sort the exterior out. Mechanically, it's okay. It's got a long MOT on it. I think it, could well be worth saving. Let's have a quick look at this system down here. So we've got our radio. I'm going to go to nav, see if it actually does anything. No, apparently not. Cassette player in there, as well as our CD changer in the back. Definitely do with some air conditioning today. See if that actually works. Let's put it on to... I can't really tell if that's working properly or not at the moment. It's definitely coming out nice cool air, but it's not frosty cool, so I don't know whether the air conditioning is working properly on that. The engine sounds good though. Super nice, smooth V8 sound. Right, let's pop the bonnet and have a look at this beast of an engine. I was about to say I'm glad I wasn't filming this bit because I would embarrass myself, because here I am frantically grabbing at the front. Why wouldn't it go up? Why doesn't it look like it's opened? The Jaguar fans among you will know that the bonnet goes the other way. So here we are. Here is our 3.2 V8. It's quite an attractive looking engine. All right, it's mainly plastic, etc., but some engines can just have no thought put into them to make them look nice at all. This looks pretty good if you ask me. Let's quickly have a look at the oil cap. All looks nice, fresh oil in there by the looks of it. Same goes for the dipstick. Look how fresh that stuff is. So imagine that's had some fresh oil fairly recently. Right, where is our coolant? There we are. That looks okay to me. So coolant looks okay. It's not necessarily the brightest, freshest of whatever colour it should be. Oh, I guess there used to be a toolbox or something in that little cubby there. If I get it to clip back on properly now, which I can't. So how does it go? Like that. No signs of any leaks or anything, but I bet you this engine is a absolute can of worms if things start going wrong. Maybe a bit of a slight leak from a rocker there, maybe, but it looks very fresh. So yeah, I don't know. On the whole, it doesn't jump out as being too bad to me, and it looks attractive, doesn't it? It sounds good. I'm quite looking forward to getting this out on the road, actually. Okay, before we do get on the road, let's talk about facts and figures. I paid £800 for this car. Then I suppose we collected it as well, so a train fare was 50 quid, and the fuel getting back. Let's say it owes me £900 at this point. We've done nothing else to it, and it's very hard to figure out what these will be worth. The only ones that I can find for this year on Auto Trader is a 4 litre, and they're asking £5,500 for that, and I imagine it's in super nice nick, in white. It's an executive, not an SE like ours. So I don't know really. That's why I'm a bit stumped on this. I know that our kind of valuation system told us to, pay considerably more than we did, but of course we've taken into all the body defects into account. So hopefully we're not going to lose out on this one. There's always a fair chance, but that's why I think this one would be best to stick it up on an auction, put a reserve on of what it owes me, and let's just see if we can find someone who's, see how popular they are. It will be a test of the waters to see exactly how popular they are. Now, before I do put this up for an auction, I want to check the history of the car, make sure I'm not selling anything that I don't know the full history of. If you need to do a history check, if you're buying a car or want to check the history of your car, visit carvertical.com. If you use the code SHIFTING or the link in the description below, you will get 10% off and it will help the channel. So here we are, our Jaguar XJ. We've got a green tick for mileage, theft, accidents and finance. So the car has got a clean bill of health, basically. I'm going to go through, we've got all of our old MOT histories here, which, scrolling through quickly, there have been some fails, as you'd expect, but not huge, I would say, for a Jaguar. Looking at the mileage, going back through right to its first MOT, it was first registered 11 miles in 2002, all the way going up, no dips down, no spikes up, so that's always good to see. It actually tells us that as of today, the estimated mileage would be 105,000. Well, it's 107, so they're not far off, are they? Tells us all the countries have been checked for damage. Valuation currently, approximate market value of this car, 1,395 or 1,709 if the seller is a company. Well, I'd be happy if we got 1,700. We will see with the way it is currently, but hopefully we won't have lost out too much. Checklist tells you lots of things to check for the car, which tend to be general things which are always really important when it comes to buying a car. Make sure that you've checked the, smokiness from the exhaust, check the tyres, check, if they're worn unevenly on one side or whatever. It could be an indication of more than just the tyres are worn out. It could be suspension and things like that. But the good news is this car has got a clean bill of health from Car Vertical. So let's get it on the road and see how it drives. Well, so far so good. This thing drives incredibly well. It's so smooth, it feels like you're driving a waterbed, really. It's it's not the most pointed and sharpest of instruments, but it doesn't feel that wallowy either. It doesn't feel heavy. The steering's nice and light, and it just rolls along like you're sat on the beach with the waves lapping against you. It's very, very comfortable and smooth. I have got to keep the window cracked because it's surprisingly warm today with the sun out, and although I think this air conditioning is working, it probably wants a regas because it's certainly not coming out as cold as I would like it to. Performance is incredibly underwhelming for a V8. All right, it's only a little baby one, isn't it? A 3.2. We will put it into sport mode in a minute and see how it actually goes, but I don't think that's really the point of this car, is it? It's not meant to be an out-and-out drag racer. This is something to just waft around, have plenty of power to get you going along smoothly without screaming while it does it. So for that reason, it suits its purpose very well. Surprisingly, it doesn't even feel that big on the road, squeezing through tight spaces and whatever. I guess from the days where this was a big car to what is a normal sized car now, that gap in size has decreased, and it certainly doesn't feel, unwieldy. It's very hard to manoeuvre around. It just feels like you're driving anything else you would, really. Tracking could probably do with adjusting. The steering wheel is slightly off to the left. I don't think it's actually pulling in any particular direction, although I say that now. We're on a slightly cambered road here to the left, as we are in most of these roads in Somerset. But it's certainly not pulling. It's fine under braking. But just to get that steering wheel nice and straight, I would definitely like to do that if it was my own car. I believe the previous owner had told us that this used to be a sort of dignitary car, and then something else after, which I can't remember. I wish I'd asked Josh prior to this. Josh went and collected it. But hopefully the owner will pop up in the comments and let us know some more of the history that we perhaps don't know. But this would be the perfect sort of car for that, wouldn't it? Being driven around London or whatever, in the back of this would just be immensely comfortable, immensely quiet, just a really nice place to be, especially back in 2002. Right, we're finally out in the Nationals now, so let's get this bad boy in sport mode. Now, what happens when I press the S? Do we get anything on the dash or not? I think it just sticks in. Oh no, it's out now and illuminated, so I assume that means we're in sport mode. Foot flat to the floor. It definitely builds a bit of momentum, but it took quite a while to get to 60 then. We'll give this another little go when we get on a straight section of road, because there's actually quite a lot of resistance from this accelerator pedal, and I think it actually needs to be really planted if you really want it to get up and go. What's most incredible about that is when you're giving it full throttle, how quiet it remains. actually handles surprisingly well for a big boat. Into this corner here, not a glimpse of understeer or anything, or roll there really. It just kind of handles it, gets on with it. Right, here we are then, bit of straight road. We are doing 30, just over 30, flat down now. Oh, that's far more convincing. Yeah, she's going now. Woo! That was actually pretty good. That was up to 60 then by the time I kind of let my foot off. That really picked up well. Let's try it again. 30. Thought we're 40 even. I'm impressed with that. I am impressed with that. I wonder what this car really needs is a great big clear out, a good Italian tune-up, keeping it higher in the revs and get it really nice and warm. Shows you how much work the gearbox is doing to keep this kind of subdued and smooth, because as you pull out of junctions and things like that, it almost feels like it's falling on its face a little bit. You kind of want to, you're used to having more modern cars, kind of really, everything's about it getting as much power out of a small engine as possible, so everything's quite sort of urgent. But in this, it's the complete opposite. It kind of just wallows out. No need to rush. But if you put your foot down, like I'm about to do, we are at 40 miles an hour, and I'll try and remember to say when we're at 60. So 40 miles an hour. 45, 50, 55, 60. Certainly not slow. I expected it to be a lot slower than that, to be honest. God knows what that's done to our fuel consumption though. It's only brought it down by 0.1, so that's okay. So I think while driving it, I've made up my mind. I think I am going to put this on an eBay auction. It probably won't be on the Barrow Motors eBay account or anything like that, so I will put a link in the description, because probably by the time I put this video out, which will be tomorrow, fingers crossed, I pull my fingers out and I've done an eBay auction. So if you're in the market for an XJ8, this one will be available. But before I do that, I am going to park it up at the farm here and plug it in and see what codes we got, because I will make that part of the description, because this is going to be a bit of a project for someone, at least externally. Mechanically, I think it's okay. We'll find out what's going on with the engine. I think it's going to sensor, or it wants a cat clean treatment or something. But yeah, by no means is this a retail car. Right, so I'm just running a health report on the Jaguar XJ8 using the Topdon RT Diag 600S. Excellent bit of kit, this, to be honest. So we've got 4 for ECM, so let's have a look. Let's read the fault codes. O2 sensor, security input pending, system check not completed, blah, 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 etc, etc. So as I thought, bank 1 and bank 2. So O2 sensors basically is what it's upset about, and that's why we've got the engine management light on. I'm going to take a picture of that. So that can go on our auction listing. Before I clear them, okay. Oh, clear fault memory, did that just do it? I would imagine so. So we've cleared it now, let's fire it up. Engine management light is off. But now we've got that information to put in the listing. But as I say, I get a feeling that that's why this car has had so many catacleans, you know, just like a thing that you put in the fuel to clear it out, because I doubt there's actually an issue. It just could be that rather than replacing O2 sensors, which could be what, 150 quid a pop at a time, you can put something in there that will help them read or help them clear off. and help them read a bit better. So there we have it, guys. It's even windier down here at the farm, but I'm going to get pictures of this car now, get it listed, get an eBay auction going. So if you're in the market for one of these or you fancy a project, check out the eBay listing. It will be in the description below. You'll be equipped with more information than anyone else when it comes to looking at the eBay auction, because you're a subscriber to Shifting Metal. If you're not, please do subscribe. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. If you also want to sell your car and see it featured on the channel, visit carsbought4more.com, put all in all your information, and we will come back to you and try and give you the best quote going. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.